Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna review Sylvando. So he is a buffer and a support chainer. So let's compare him to Ignis and Sylvie. So I must say his survivability is pretty decent. Like you can see 120% health boost, which is higher than Sylvie. If you count his Trust Master reward, that means he has 160% health boost, which is much higher than most tanker on this game. And he also has innate dual wield, so pretty good I must say as a support chainer, because as a support chainer you want to do elemental chain with your main attacker. By having dual wield, it is more flexible, it gives you more flexibility. And as a buffer, he also has nice LB fill rate and LB regen. Actually, the LB fill rate is not that great, only 50%, but the LB regen kinda nice for LB per turn. Very nice addition for him. And he also recover your party health and MP every turn. This passive is kinda nice because it is cast type, not regenerating. That means you can stack this with your health and MP regen buff. And basically the health will recover you about 6 times spirits per turn. So if you have 1000 spirit on Sylvando, you will recover about 3000 health per turn, which is very nice if you combine it with decent health regen. So pretty good buffer, but as an attacker, I don't think it is that good because only 60% attack without 6 times change damage modifier. Okay, so not fit for your main attacker, but as a support chainer, that's good. Now let's take a look on his abilities. First, let's talk about his buff. So on the beginning of the battle, you can give your allies with 180% all stats buff, and that's pretty good because with that luminary you also get 30% physical damage mitigation. Yes, physical, it is not general damage mitigation. It is good because many healers right now able to give you general damage mitigation while you waiting for 50% damage mitigation either from Sacred Shield Charlotte or Galuf. So this physical damage mitigation is really special in my eyes. And you also get 35% LP damage. It is good if you, let's say you use Hyo or like Aldor King Rain. Yes, I know they can buff their self with superior LB damage, and I don't think this can be stacked with that. But remember, those LB damage buff only available every 5 turns or 4 turns, so this 35% LB damage is definitely useful for them on their normal turn. And you also upgrade your other abilities when using this luminary, and there are 3 important upgrades I want to talk about, and you can get all these upgrades within 2 turns because this luminary can be dual casted on the first turn. So on the first turn, I recommend you to use luminary with tap dance. Okay, with luminary and tap dance, you will get 2 physical evasion on the first turn too. Okay, that lasts for 3 turns, so this is really amazing, guys. And you also get 250% faster LB fill rate. Wow, that's insane. And I think the most benefit you get from this 250% is for Sylvando, okay, because you will learn later he really needs huge LB fill rate. And on the next turn, you probably want to use Funnel Dance and Hostile Dance. Maybe you ask me, what the upgraded version only gives you 180% defense and spirit, same like Luminary. Remember that Luminary buff only lasts for 3 turns. So this, when you cast Funnel Dance and Hostile Dance on the second turn, you kinda refresh your buff to last for 5 turns. These 5 turns is really important, okay, you will see later. And this Fuddle and Hustle Dance also gives you nice set effect, okay, 80% fire, wind, earth, dark resist, and the Hustle Dance will recover 60% health and 30% MP, which is nice. Okay, it is percentage based, which means it is always useful for you. Okay, so really good. Now let's take a look on the superior buff. Other than 180%, you can buff your party with 200% all stats. Whoa, that's pretty amazing, but there is a downside. First, to get 200%, you need to use a setup ability, Let There Be Light. So it consumes 24 LB crystals on one full LB gauge. And on the next turn, after you cast this Let There Be Light, you must use Electrolyte. If you don't use Electrolyte on the next turn, then the upgrade effects are gone, okay? Remember to use it on the next turn. And that's it, you get 200% all stats buff and 80% all elemental resist. So this is why I think it's better to keep that 180% all stats buff. Because just in case you cannot complete the tight time to cast Let There Be Light and Electrolyte. If you fail, then you still have 180% all stats buff for your parties. Imagine if you don't use Foodle and Hustle Dance, okay? Your buff will be gone and your party will be left with only 130% if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of mediocre. So make sure you cast that, you upgrade that Hustle and I forgot the name, okay, Hustle and Foodle Dance, then try to do this Electrolyte setup. After all, it's only 20% difference, so the biggest reason you want to use this is if you need all elemental resist, okay? But other than that, I think the 180% all stats buff is enough, and I think it's always available if you follow the rotation, because the upgraded version lasts for 5 turns and the luminary cooldown only 5 turns. Okay, so it is easy to maintain your buff unless the enemy dispel your buff. Okay, so I think that's all about his buff. He also able to give your party barrier, so pretty good. So his offensive is Bolting Strike Chaining move. It is good if you have Bolting Strike Chainer on your party, so yes, it is obvious. But if you search for damage, I must say you won't find it from him. First reason is you can see that his attack stats is not amazing. And second reason, I have said this also, he doesn't get plus 6 times change damage modifier, so it's kinda different case than Adventurer, Lock, Breaker, and Offensive Attacker combo. Okay, but still it is pretty good because let's say after 5 turns you get 9 times damage modifier to your strongest Bolting Strike Chainer. You deal 14.2 times damage per cast, so if you use triple cast, you're gonna deal 42.6 times damage modifier. Yes, it sounds high on paper, but remember I have said he doesn't get plus 6 times change damage modifier. So in reality, his damage gonna be much lower. Okay, but as a support chainer, I think that's good enough. Okay, and if you want to make him as a support chainer, make sure you use his LB, because his LB gonna unlock his triple cast, which is useful. There are many good Bolting Strike Chainer, but one character that hit my mind is Cartoon, because I have him, of course, I only remember him, and maybe Esther. So those two get triple Bolting Strike Chainer. So you want to have triple cast too. Okay, so that's why I think if you use him as a support chainer, then no need to force yourself using Electrolyte. Simply stick with Luminary for your buff and use your LB to unlock your triple cast. Okay, but of course if you have spare turn, you can do that Electrolyte combo to get 200% all stats buff. But the safest way if you want to use that 200% faster, 200% all stats buff is by having someone who know and trust on your party. Because remember guys, you need to cast it right after you use Let There Be Light. Okay? If by any case you cannot make his LB gauge full on the next turn, then your LB is simply wasted because you cannot keep it. Okay, I have tried this. I have wait for one turn, and on the third turn when I cast it, this is simply ordinary buff with 25% chance to imperil your party. So not worth without LB. I mean, not worth to be used without Let There Be Light upgrade. Okay, so enough about his abilities. Now let's talk about equipment. So for equipment, it is pretty simple. Equip him with dagger and sword, and get rare ability for dagger to give him faster LBV rate. His innate faster LBV rate only 50%, so it's kind of crappy. So you want to get faster LBV rate from your dagger, and that's it. I don't think you should focus on attack stats. You should focus on spirit stats. Make sure he has 1000 or more spirit so he can recover lots of health per turn for your parties. Remember, he is a support chainer, not your main chainer. Okay? So enough about equipment. My conclusion for Sylvando. Sylvando is an interesting buffer on this game. If you have a bolting strike chainer on your party, Cartin, Elena, Esther, then I can say Sylvando is kind of good buffer for your party. But make sure you have someone that has all stats break, all status ailments, stop, and charm resist buff. You can use Volca, you can use Warrior of like Lena. If you have those, you can use Sylvando. But if not, I think it's better to stick with, let's say, Sylvie, because Sylvie able to give you those stats resist. Okay, it is important, but really Sylvando is not a bad character. If you get him from Silver Keys, then congratulations. It is quite good, okay, because buffer is not that prone to power creep. Okay, so from what I can remember, there are not many buffers who able to spam 200% facial ability rate easily. Maybe you say, I forgot the Octopath Traveler, Primrose, yeah, Primrose, but Primrose is also limited. Okay, so on the permanent character we have Ignis. Okay, Ignis is also very decent because he has that 200% all stats buff, but Ignis cannot help your party with chaining. Okay, and the fact that Sylvando able to give you 30% physical damage mitigation and 2 physical evasion makes him really great buffer on this game if you able to fulfill that condition. Like, yeah, all stats resist ailments buff. Okay, so very decent, able to chain with your main chainer, and gives you possibility to bring a powerful finisher like Sid or Regina. But Regina, I don't think she is usable because she is very fragile. So yes, it's damn powerful, but with many recent bosses that able to bypass magic cover, it is very hard to bring Regina. But again, still pretty good because she can unleash that insane damage per turn. Okay, so yep, I think that's all you need to know about Sylvando. Really good buffers. For buffers, I cannot say this buffer is better than this buffer because it's all about party composition. Okay, and for in the terms of buff strength, Sylvando is top tier because his range of buff are between 180% to 200%. So yeah, pretty decent. So yep, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Private Spheres guide. Bye bye guys.